Are you guys in a noisy place?
No, there's no noise here.
Okay, okay. What about you, Vivian? Is where you are noisy? So when you look at the term authority, you know, you cannot ignore the word author. Teju, do you know what author means?
I have an idea. Yes.
You know, author is the source, right?
Yes.
And if you go deeper into the word, author
Yes.
from the French origin, you know, it, author is master and leader. That's what author means. The one who has the right to rule, the right to command, the power to enforce, the power to act. And if you so like, okay, so if that is what author means, what about authority? Authority is somebody who takes charge of their own authorship, right?
Yes.
And especially when we realize that, okay, nobody's gonna give it to you. Has anybody giving you authority before they give it?
No.
Dave? Dave is Dave is on mute. Kaka is on mute.
No, no one.
Okay.
I'm on mute because there's some noise.
Mm. Vivian probably doesn't know that she's on mute, or she doesn't want to talk to you. So the authority you need in life, nobody's ever gonna give it to you. Um, Teju, are you waiting for an award to give it to you?
No.
Are you waiting for a person to?
No.
Even when you become a parent, like your kids are never gonna give you the authority from when they are born
Hmm.
to any time. They don't want to give it to you. The kids want to take what they want to take. They want to have what they want to have, right?
Yes.
Have you ever like growing up? Did you ever give your parents the authority?
Nope. Nope.
In fact, wherever they refuse to take the authority, you either stepped in and just took that space.
Hmm.
Okay, so where does authority comes from? It comes from your standards, right? So okay, then what are standards? Standards are the things like your beliefs on what you think you can do. What you think you can do, be, and have. Like Lady goes, he's below my standards. You heard that before?
Hmm. Yeah.
What she's really saying is that he's below what I believe I can have. It's like you look at the work and it goes, okay, that's below standards. That's below my standards. What you're really saying is that's below what you believe,
Hmm.
what you believe it should be, what you believe it could be, right?
Hmm.
So where do standards come from? So you're the
Yes.
only one with a functioning mic. So where does standards
Uh, so,
come from?
uh, standards come from your memory, what you have seen or what you have heard.
Your what?
From your memory.
Okay, I mean that is partial. That's partially all right. Okay, what are standards?
Coming somewhere. There's noise coming from somewhere.
I mean, okay, Vivian, you weren't speaking when you come on, or what you bring is noise. Authority comes from your standards. Say, okay, what are standards? I mean, we need to understand. We've understood authority is you're basically taking charge of your own authorship, taking charge of your own life. Okay, where does your authority come from? It comes from your standards. Okay, what are standards? Your standard is these are the beliefs of what you think you can be, do, or have. So where does standard come from? IBK?
From your beliefs.
Like if you do not know where something comes from, how would you renew it? Where does your
Come from
standard
your
come from, Dave?
beliefs. From your beliefs.
Beliefs. So where does your beliefs come from? The things you believe. This is what I believe. This is what I believe. That's what I believe. That's what I don't believe. That's what I believe. Where does all of that come from?
I want to say standards.
So what?
I want to say standards.
I cannot hear you. What did you say?
I want to say standards.
Okay, your beliefs come from memory.
Right, right, okay.
Your beliefs come from your experiences, basically. The things that have
Mm.
shaped you. That's why they say if you show me the five people you hang out with, the most I'm going to show you who you're going to become. What they're really saying is that those people are going to shape your experience of life, how you're experiencing life. As a result, that's going to shape your belief, right?
Yes.
There's some people that they've never seen a certain amount of money before. They've never even heard of it before. They do not know that it exists. They do not know that's even possible. It's like when we were growing up,
Mm.
um, what we thought was possible was doctor, engineer, lawyer, right? Nobody even considered teacher. Teacher is when everything else fails, right? When everything else fails, we'll fall back to that. So if it's not even in your experience of certain things that exist, you know, how you gonna believe that it's possible? Okay, so you wake up one day and you realize that okay, something is going on here. I don't feel good today. I don't feel I don't feel great today, or those things stupid people say. What has been affected? Are you saying something?
Their beliefs.
Your standards.
Standards.
The beliefs are almost like the cells, like they are the internal working thing. Like most of the time, they're hard to identify unless you sit down and go, okay, what's the core belief here? Um, but what you can really measure are your standards and your authority. Like when a person goes, today is a good day, today is a bad day, they are operating from a certain belief. And that's what affecting their standard. Like my standard is every day is a good day. And that comes from a strong belief. Believe in myself, what I can do, believe in all kinds of things. Right?
Yes.
I will tell you we've known it for a while. Ever heard me say this is a bad day?
Yeah.
There are simply days we get shit done, and there are days we don't, right?
Hmm.
And every single how do you train a flea?
By putting it in a jar.
Okay, if you put the flea in a jar, and every time the flea tries to fly out, it hits the lid and falls back down, right?
Hmm.
Every single time it hits that lid, what happens to that? What happens to that flea?
It reduces the standards.
Reduces the standards because now its beliefs are challenged. It thought it believed it could fly out. Suddenly, it tried it failed. Tried it again, failed. And slowly, the standards reduced. I mean, those uncles and aunts who are even afraid of life. They're afraid of, like, you cannot mention things like business to them, especially a high
Yeah.
risk business. Ooh, damn! Cannot mention anything that involves any kind of risk because life has broken them, beating their neck throat so badly, right?
Hmm.
Now, when you were younger, right? When they told you what do you want to be when you grow up, you just imagine any fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
But now they ask you that question, again, you're gonna come from a place of limitations. You're gonna, because now you have seen your standards have been hit in many ways. You tried some things that did not work. You've seen some things not work for other people. Life has shown you its own failures as well. So now, whenever they ask you, those kind of questions, you know what you do? You're gonna operate from a place of what? Of where your standard is or at right now. So
Yes.
the flea, every single time the flea hits the lead, it reduces the height of how high it can fly. I want you to really understand that story. Let it be inside your psyche. And it's the same thing. How do eagles fly so high? They go 1 kilometer upwards and they realize, fuck, I can do it, right?
Mm.
And they go higher again, nothing happens. They keep going into the realm of the heavens, and nothing happens, nothing happens, nothing happens. You know, if you see the way the ego moves, in fact, even um, if you want to go from genetics and biology, you can see that now they're maybe the biggest bird, strongest bird, all of that. So even their genetics have been modified over time because of their standards.
Mm.
You understand what that means? Your DNA is history, right? That's memory.
Mm.
Like now you're going through a fortunate life. You're setting DNA memory. Your kids are going to be operating from a certain place without even knowing. It's going to be an unconscious competence in them.
Mm.
And hopefully they don't fuck things up. That carries on, right? In the DNA. Now you have a lineage of greatness, right?
Hmm.
In fact, having a successful parent does one thing for you, really. You know what it does for you?
Standards.
Standard. And like whenever you see, like, think about it, like, even kid, like, even very young kids, like, you look at very very young kids, they don't know the meaning of anything, but like, even very young kids, the one who come from maybe wealthy or successful of parents, they have different authorities. They speak from a different place. Somebody in another place start ordering everybody around, start making all kinds of demands because they think it's all possible. You know, that's what I want. Full fucking stop, right?
mm,
Every single time, and that affects genetics. That affects everything. So the ego, they're daring. They're daring. You know, and you see, their genetics have been modified to their standards. They see far. They fly high. They're strong. They beat up land animals, like all kinds of things because of their standards, and they operate from that authority. It's like when you study the lion. The lion is actually, they're actually lazy.
I didn't know that.
Lions are lazy. Like, for the most part, they're actually even pussies. Let's not even address the male lions.
Mm,
Those barely can even hunt. So the ladies have to go hunt. But
mm,
now, stand the lion really operates from an authority. That's really it.
mm,
They assume that kingship and they operate from that place of authority. They're not the strongest, not the fastest. Like in the zone of wild animals, like one on one, almost almost everybody beats them up. Like they can lion cannot fight a bear.
mm.
I mean, a bear stands two on 2 feet and slaps the hell out of you, and that slap tears the flesh away. Lion cannot fight a tiger. Tigers are skillful. Lions can fight elephants. They can fight right. They can fight anything. In fact, to even get that one cow, you need six of them. Have you watched the Animal Kingdom? To get that one fucking buffalo, you see five of them. But I'll tell you one thing: the buffalo looks at itself and sees itself as prey. The lion looks at itself and sees itself as hunter. The buffalo looks at the lion and thinks predator. The lion looks at the buffalo and thinks meat. And they both operate from that authority. And every time you see a buffalo stand tall and go, you know what, like this, am I running from this tiny thing? Like, they're bigger than I'm bigger than this stuff. I'm more powerful than this stuff. I have more weapons to fight with. Anytime a buffalo has a change in heart and just stands up to a lion, nothing happens. But it takes a lot. Sometimes it takes up to maybe a near death experience for that buffalo to finally take it on their own authority, right? You see one lion chasing an entire herd of antelopes. They, if they unite Come on, like a lion cannot even fight maybe three of them. W- But they will all run. Like think about it. An
Hmm.
entire herd, all they needed to do was just stand and unite. Like they would eat the lion. As a collective, as a group, and as individuals, they view themselves as meat. That's what they believe. That's where their standards come from, and that's where they operate from. That the authority. It's the same thing. Like you could have a 4-year old leading an elephant around, you know, telling the elephant what to do. It's very simple. First of all, they break the standards of the elephant and they increase the standard of the 4-year old. From a very young age, they tie a rope or something to the chain to the elephant's feet, neck, throat, wherever. And every time he tries to run or set himself free, it can't because it's tied to a tree.
Hmm.
It legs hurt. The elephant tries to get out, its legs hurt, and that happens throughout its life. At one point, it gives up. Isn't that what happens to women as well
Hmm.
in many societies? When they're
Hmm.
finally waking up and going, wait a minute, we'll take all these idiots, feed these idiots, birth them, all kinds of stupid shit. And at some point, their standards, their beliefs, their will just falls off. And now even a 2-year old can drag them around. You just have to think about areas in your life where you're that elephant, where you've tried something, it has hurt. Could even be money,
Hmm.
you know. Um, you tried getting 100K from a friend 10 years ago, it hurt. Try getting 1 million, it hurts. Try getting 5K, it hurts. Try getting 10 million, it hurts. When somebody comes and tells you, oh man, like you could easily just, wave a few papers around. In fact, you don't even have to go to the bank. You say this, they'll come to you and they'll bring the money to you. It's easy. Get 1 billion from them. Like it's easy. Like if you wave these papers around, like it's really easy. Anybody can do it. An idiot can do it. You want to fund your business, you want to do anything, like the bank can give you the money. Like the bank, that's what they're there for. You know. But of course, like you wouldn't do. Why would you do it? But all your life, every time you have moved your leg in that direction, it hurts. Growing up, you saw some people who moved in that direction. It hurts. You know, you saw your aunts, uncle, parents. They moved in that direction. It hurt. It's like with the monkey experiment. They put 4 monkeys in a pit, and every time anyone tries to climb, they pour cold water on all of them. Anytime, every time. So over time, no one even tries anymore. their standards have been hit. I want you to take these stories to heart. I want you to understand and start questioning. Okay, this is what was happening at this point of my life. My standards took a hit. Again, anytime you see someone timid, you see someone. Have you ever seen a timid person with authority? Ever seen it before? To you,
No, no,
No, I haven't.
Dave?
no,
Where a timid person has authority. Have you seen that before?
no, never.
A timid person is coming from a certain. They never have authority because they have low standards. Low standards, like maybe when they open their mouth and try to speak, they were laughed at. That was the lead. They try to get out, they pour water on them. The monkeys are there. Okay, so every now and again, look at what happened. They remove one monkey and bring in a new monkey. The new monkey immediately tries to jump out. Right? It's interesting. You know what the before the water even pours. You know what the rest monkey. You know what the rest monkeys do, Vivian. Okay, you're on mute. I don't understand what's going on with you today. Um, in your direction, sounds like a lot. Take your. You know what's going on. When do you know what happens when the new monkey tries to climb? Do you know?
Yes.
Now there's a new monkey in the group. They took out one old monkey. They brought one new monkey in. That new monkey is like, I need to get out of this place. Like, what are you guys even doing here? Now he's trying to climb out of the pit. What do you think the rest of them did? You're on mute.
Okay, I think. Okay, okay, but Cedric, can you mute yourself?
You can speak, Dave.
Oh, no, I was checking something because I muted Vivian on my end, so I was wondering if she couldn't unmute herself. I'm
Okay,
just saying that
because of the
he
noise,
can.
right? At the time. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but she can unmute herself. I just tested it now.
Okay. Okay. Um, what do you think the other monkeys do? The other ones who have been there, who anytime they tried to get out of the pit, you pour cold water on them. And there's a new monkey in town who's trying to climb the pit out. What do you think they're gonna do?
They stop it. They
They
pull it down.
pull that monkey back down.
Yeah.
In fact, they start beating the monkey.
Mm.
Then the monkey doesn't listen. The monkey doesn't listen. Jumps and struggles and climbs to the top and cold water on all of them again. He falls back down and they're like, "We told you." They remove another old monkey. They brought another new. Now we have two new monkeys. But now the last one was not so. It's no longer so new. At least I tasted the water. They bring a new monkey in. That new monkey again, of course, excited. We need to get out of here. What are you guys doing here? What are you guys doing here? Trying to get out. What would the rest of them do?
Pull it down.
In fact, the one that had tasted it only once now joins them and puts the guy down. And
Mm.
eventually something happens where they remove all the old monkeys. They stop pouring the water. They remove they remove all the old monkeys one by one, but they do it slowly. So the culture and the standards rub off. Now all you have now are new monkeys who have never tested the cold water before. But every single time one of them tries to climb, none of them even thinks of it. But every time one of them just goes, "Let me see if I can climb," they all pull that monkey down without understanding. Without understanding, they don't even know why they're pulling the monkey down. It has now become a cultural thing. Have you seen that happen in your society where people are pulling other people down?
Yeah.
Now you know what happened. And we have a society of mediocrity, low standards, no authority, right? And that is why they say if you spend time with if you spend time with I mean if you make friends with monkeys, your life becomes a circus. Spend time with certain people, now your standards either go up or go down. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
You begin to realize, okay, these are the things that are affecting my standards. That time I tried to speak and they pulled me down. Every time someone tries to pull you down, you know where they're operating from. They're operating from their own low fucking standards. They're operating from their own cold fear of cold water.
Hmm.
Because somehow they believe, okay, the cold water is going to touch all of us. We better just be. I mean, it's crazy, right? Let's just be. Basically, they say, no, let's just all be here and suffer. Isn't that what happens in your society? Now you know what happens, right? Over time, and now we no longer
Yeah.
have any clue why we're pulling people down anymore,
Hmm.
because it has now become a a part of the cultural existence. In a few years' time, you have some kids, and now they go, "Well, we're going to the toll gate to riot." Go speak, tell the government a peace of mind. What would you say? What would you say to the What would you say to your kids?
Please stay back home.
Never,
Nah, stay
never
back
say
home.
anything. I just lock the door.
Are you done?
Just lock.
Based on the cold water, right?
Hmm. Cold water, very cold water.
Very cold.
It's hot water.
Hmm.
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 Ah,
Wow.
very cold water. Now you see why these people, the oppressors, why they do certain things like this. Because they're trying to put cold water. They're trying to
Hmm.
break down. And what happened? We came out, we screamed today. Oh shit! Nothing happened. Oh, we can fly higher. Let's print T-shirts for it. Nothing happens. Ooh, but let's spend the night there. Nothing happens. Ooh, let's put it on social media. Nothing happens. They're like, oh, okay, these people they're going higher and higher, even marching to the upper palace. Nothing happens. Okay, what was happening there was the standards, which is the beliefs on what the beliefs on what the youth can do, what they can achieve as a collective, was increasing, and that was where the authority was coming from. Then cold water.
Hmm.
Very simple. How do you break a person's spirit? All you have to say now is cold water. How do you break a person's spirit?
Cold water.
Cold water. How do people lose their standards?
Cold water.
Cold
Why do
water.
people drag people down? look at all of this and there you go, "Oh, that's interesting."
Mm.
I don't know what's going on. And
Mm.
every day in your life, you got to stand guard at the things that affect your beliefs, the things that affect your standards. In fact, embody new beliefs that you are not that you're not you're too preoccupied embodying new beliefs and the authority, that like the ego and even your genetic makeup changes. Every time you try to maybe close a deal and it doesn't close for whatever reason, what happens to you? What happens
Standards.
to your standards?
They reduce.
There it is.
They're affected.
Your head, like the flea, right? In the jar, your head hits the lead, you know, and falls back, and now you're like, we cannot fly out. And here's the funny thing, the interesting thing about training a flea: you put it in a jar, it tries to go out, it hits it, it tries to go out, it hits it, you know, and comes down. Some even give up and die. That when you open the jar, you realize that the flea is dead. They give up on life.
Mm.
You open the jar after a while. Now you could basically walk around without the lid, and the flea wouldn't it wouldn't fly out. And basically, sometimes I speak to youth and I'm like, these guys are around money. Like these guys are all around. I've never spoken to anybody that's not around money. I've never spoken to anybody. I've not. It's not around money. While they're saying it, acting on it, all of that stuff is based on them already. You know? The fortunate life is already here and now. But like, uh, your standards, and that's where your authority comes from. I mean, I like the Christ philosophy. It's like, just believe you could do all things through me. Since your boss wouldn't do it for you, you could embody my own, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because over here where I'm at, I'm chilling with the Father. Cold water cannot touch me. So even when you take cold water, that shit cannot touch me. Now you see why you're empowered. Sometimes every time after we speak, something has happened to your standards. Like most of the time, if all I did for you was no training, none of that stuff, just be that person that you come and recharge your standards. When you hear a couple of no's, you already set out to do something, release a product, launch a product on a certain time, and that launch fails. What happens to your standards?
Mm. Reduce.
What what are standards again? What?
Beliefs.
Okay, I use very specific words for very specific reasons.
Okay.
Standards are the beliefs or
And what
what
you
you think
think?
you could do, be or have.
Okay.
They're not just beliefs.
Your beliefs and what you think you could do, be or have.
Standards are basically what you believe you can do, be or have. Can someone have a higher standard than what they can actually do?
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Okay, have some that recover. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, but does it matter?
Nope.
No.
I remember a kid watched Spider-Man then when we were young and just went to the window and just jumped out. It's a tragic story. Um,
Did this kid survive?
no,
Jesus Christ. Wow. Wow.
but that's the thing with standards and authority. Like you
Wow.
when you hold
Yeah,
on to
that's a perfect
authority,
example. Yeah.
that's why it's scary. That's why it's
Jesus.
only for the it's
Hmm.
only for the giants.
Hmm.
Because you might jump out and suddenly, oh fuck,
Hmm.
shit, I can't fly.
Hmm.
You realize midway. Like you move around, go. I'm speaking from authority, speaking from authority. You start speaking to the wrong people, the right people, and now you're in fucking like the police stops you, for example, and like, oh well, fortune says this is slap the police. Now they're literally pouring cold water on your head.
Hmm.
Now you go fucking hell. Well, I mean, wisdom is only profitable to who can apply, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
What would you rather die of? Low standards or high standards? If
High
there's anything
standard.
that will kill a man, so somebody must kill a man. What would you rather die of? That's why the kings, rather than being captured, they'll fall upon their own fucking sword. There's a particular war where there was a king, he fell out on the sword, but before then the enemy hurried there before he could die. They took out the sword, and they gave the sword to a little girl and said, behead his neck before he dies. Let that be the standards for the people. A little girl cut off their king's throat while he was struggling for his life. What do you think will happen to the standards of that people for the history throughout the history of time? These are how slaves are made. It's like with the Igbos who in Nigeria who the Easterners who were probably the wealthiest people at the time. All kinds of things were going on then. Things were they were pouring cold water on them. They said no, we're done with the cold water. Started a whole revolution and it failed. What happened to their standards? Tell you, what do you think happened to their standards?
The standards reduced. Hmm.
And that's where your authority comes from. I mean, I've always had a big mouth all my life. I was waiting for success to catch up with the big mouth.
Hmm.
So be mindful. So every single time something does not go your way, what has happened to your standards?
Hmm.
That's why you wake up the next morning and the guy goes, "I'm depressed," right?
Hmm.
Or you hear people go, "I'm worried." All of that just tells me low fucking standards. They have taken a hit. I mean, I know Vivian can hear us now. But Vivian is going. Vivian is in a very noisy place now. I know she's going. Oh, that's what's happening. Vivian, every single time, that's what happens. Any morning you wake up feeling some way, maybe the previous day, some cold water has been poured on you. So you're waking up cold, right? Wake up cold. So you go cold feet. Of course he had cold feet. Cold water was poured on him. His ancestors, everybody. My ancestors are hunters, philosophers. They'll eat you fucking alive. Even when I grew up in the city, I'm still looking for people to eat alive. It's DNA information. No. Police stops be funny. The first thing I'm asking, I'm telling them is why I'm with my own authority. You try to put the risk of my people, of the citizens. You try to put you try to put the people at risk. Look at where you're parked. Look at where your team is. Get that thing out of the road. Who gave me that authority? Who gave it to me?
No, you give yourself the authority.
And again, you won't be able to give your generation the authority or the standards. The only thing you could do is you yourself. You yourself. So your kids, they see what you believe you can do and they copy that. But when your kids see that water is poured on you, now they move around. Now they move around saying things like, "I had cold fucking feet."
Hmm.
The moment I realize that your standards are your beliefs on what you
Hmm.
think, or your beliefs on what you can do, be or have. That's it. Then we start to recognize the people. We start to recognize the people, the things, the affairs that reduce our standards. Basically, the ones that pour cold water on us, or
Hmm.
the things that put lead on us. You try to close a deal, it doesn't close. What has happened to your standards?
They're reduced.
And Kaka is going now. What can I do? Every time my standard reduces, I don't want to be like that anymore. It's worse especially when you do door to door.
Hmm.
When we're doing door to door, knock on doors, one door after the other. You knock on this door, and the guy slams the door at you. That's serious cold water. No, there was a particular case where the guy slammed the door, and I knocked on 20 doors, and I realized my standards. I went back to that door, and I'm like, "You fucking retard! Trying to sell you something, show you how you could save money, and here's how the guy's like, hey, look, listen, I was going through a bad, he apologized.
Hmm.
I went back. I'm like, no, this guy took a slice of my standard. I
Hmm.
went back, no. Then in the middle of him trying to tell me his life story and why he did slam the door, I slammed his own door at him and I walked away. For some reason, it felt good.
Hmm.
I could tell you one thing. I closed the next deal.
Hmm.
And that was the beginning of me trying to understand standards. Every single time you try to do something and it doesn't work, something happens to your belief that you can achieve it, that you can do it, you can be it. That is what affects your standards, and your standards is what affects your authority. So the greatest gift you can give to a person is the gift of high standards, right? What they
Yes.
can be, what they can, and what they can do. So what do you do when your standards take a hit? You try to do something like the flea. Remember how you train a flea? You put it in a
Yeah.
jar. He tries to fly out. If he tries to fly out, he hits the lid. His standards reduce, and every time he hits the lid, the standard reduce. And at one point, you remove the lid back. It's not going to fly out because it's not what it's not. It's not pussified, right?
Hmm.
It's not going to fly out anymore because it no longer has any fucking standards. There's no belief that's possible anymore, so it just stays there. Some even kill themselves. Some sting themselves to death. Like with the monkeys, they're going to be there in the pit,
Hmm.
afraid of the cold water, right? Like with the elephant, now the 2, 3 year old can drag them around. No standards anymore. I'm telling you, watch lions. Lions are actually the pussies of the jungle.
Hmm.
But what they have is a high, very high standard. Very high standard. A lion looks at elephant and they think meat.
Hmm.
The elephant looks at the lion and thinks prey. And thinks predictor. And thinks this guy's out for me. What do you do when your standards take a hit? At this point, I hope you're able to now identify when your standards take a hit. Every single time you try to be, do, or have something and it does not go your way, your standards have just taken a hit. You're like the flea in the jar with lid on. You try to fly out, you hit the lid, you fell back. Some people will sting themselves to death. Some people will not even wake up the next morning. Some people wake up the next morning and say, they have a bad day. Not have fucking bad days. Every day gets amazing over here. Bad days, niggas. Bad day niggas are people who have what? Low fucking standards, right?
Hmm.
But they don't know it that their standards have taken a hit.
Hmm. Wow.
They don't know it. You know. They try to do
Wow.
something that day, and every time the rain falls, somehow the rain is in the way. Oh, so every time you see the rain,
Wow.
that's how idiots live their life, not us. So every single time your standard take a hit, you recommit to the goal.
Oh.
Every single time you recommit to the goal. That's where management of state. Mastery is in management of state. I learned this from door to door. When you knock on that door, the person gives you shit. Now you go to the next door. You cannot go to the next door with that same energy. You have to recommit to your goal. Before you knock on that door, you recommit to the goal. You adjust your smile. You check your tonality. There's some people after they take a hit, their voice even goes away. They open their mouth and nothing comes out. Yeah. And it's also part of military psychological warfare.
Hmm.
You know, like I think that's exactly what's happening on the toll gate, for example.
Hmm.
At the toll gate.
Hmm.
The first time, they did a little bit. What happened? Oh, we can spend the night there now. A little
Hmm.
bit. Oh, we could block the whole of Lagos. A little bit. We can even chase the Oba. A little bit. Before you know it, we could even overthrow Nigeria. Before it gets to that, guess what they did? They poured the cold water on the monkeys. Put the lead.
Hmm. Everybody goes back home.
The standards are reduced. Well, there's still some who are going to try. Remember the monkeys? One's still going to try, right?
Hmm.
You pour some more cold water, and over time, the standards gone. The belief that they can make that change gone.
Hmm.
So I'm going to ask you one question again. If your child in a few years goes, there's a riot at the toll gate. We're gonna go tear them. We're gonna go take it from the government. What are you gonna say to them?
Hmm.
You're gonna impose your own standards on them, right?
Tough one though.
Your child says, "This is what I want to be. This is how I want to live my life. This is who I want to be." And based on your own fears,
Hmm.
you impose your own standards on them. So the first thing you do when your standards take a hit is you recommit to your goal. Now I do something even crazy. I just go. Maybe that goal was too low. I'm gonna set a higher goal. I increase my standards every single time it takes a hit. But you don't have to do that. All you need to do is recommit to your goal.
So recommit to your goals or increase your
That's up
standards.
to you. But you have to recommit.
Okay.
You have to recommit.
Okay.
And come in again. So the first thing you do is you recommit to the goal. So imagine if after they shot the people at the toll gate, that everybody went back and recommitted to the goal again. Everybody went back the next day,
Hmm.
recommitted to the goal again.
Hmm.
But that will happen because it's not the basis in the psyche of human nature. We are like the same. We're the same as the fleas. The standards just took a hit. But imagine if everybody recommitted back to the goal and showed up again the next day. Or even do something more ridiculous this time. Would that would not happen, right? Every single time you try to do something, your goal takes a hit. Remember, that's what just happened. So What he says to you, don't worry. Tomorrow, don't worry, tomorrow I have the money ready. Yeah, tomorrow comes and the money is not ready. What happens to your standard?
Taking a hit.
That's why if somebody lies to you enough times, you're gonna stop believing in them, right?
Hmm.
Because your standard towards them, what you believe that they can do, be or have, has reduced every single time. So number one is you recommit to the goal. Become very, very mindful of what's going on. Become mindful of what's happening and say, okay, this is what happened. Is my audio clear?
Yes.
Every single time. So what if you already believe that here in the fortunate life we make money every single day, and one day comes in, and that day you're not making money or something is happening, you know, some people go sad, right? And here's what I've realized. That sadness, that low energy, that is you really just mourning your standards.
Hmm.
So if somebody comes along and maybe inspires you or say let's go, it'll make it happen for you. You're happy again, not necessarily because of the thing you're getting or not getting. It's because humans function best. pe- People, organisms function best when they are in their high standards. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Number one is you will commit back to the goal. Vivian, you are on mute.
Okay.
Okay. Um, you've been in a business where you need where you use distributors for your stuff, right? What happens if a distributor disappoints you? What just happened to your standard?
Your standard just drops. It fails.
I mean, have you felt that before? Has that happened to you recently?
Yes, a couple of times, yes.
A couple of times. But what did you go? You went back home crying.
No, I didn't go back home. I had to just, sit myself up, recommit to getting, the people who actually wanted the products in and move on.
You will commit to the goal, right?
Yeah.
And now you even set higher goals. Like what? Next time I'm not gonna do it just like that again. Next time instead of 50, I'm gonna have 100 distributors around this area. Now instead of going down, now you're inspired.
Hmm.
Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
Nobody's gonna give you authority. So you got to be mindful of your beliefs and your standards. Nobody's gonna give you the authority. Nobody's gonna give you the authority. No, not a single soul. You had a meeting with the other person the other day, right? Hello, can you hear me, Vivian? When you went on your meeting, did they give you authority?
No, I gave myself the authority.
Where should you operate from? Your highest authority.
What?
Your,
I didn't get that.
I was asking, where do you operate from? You operate from
From a place of authority.
not just authority, your highest authority. Do you know how miracles happen? Do you know how pastors make do you know how pastors make miracles happen? Ever seen a miracle happen without without something that has without an authority?
Hmm.
No.
Only somebody commanded demons up and down, right? Any questions?
Um.
I'm
Okay.
listening.
How do you um? Okay, so you said sadness or low energy is mourning your standards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how do you okay, right, what do you do when that is happening, the sadness or the low energy?
Recommit to your goals. Recommit to your objectives.
Immediately.
Immediately. You know. Trying to get pussy, she says no. Recommit to a higher goal.
Hmm.
Yeah, you go out of a relationship, you ended up badly. Recommit to a higher purpose, a higher goal.
Hmm.
Set your standard. Okay. And here's one thing to just establish is this. When it comes to authority, now you know nobody's going to give it to you, right?
Yes.
Now you also know that anything that goes wrong affects your. That's called what are your standards. Anything that goes wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now here's how to do it. Establish your beliefs. Establish your values beforehand, and do not compromise. How do you train somebody in a relationship? How do we train? You know, we train people to treat us, right?
Hmm.
You know that?
Yes.
Okay, Vivian, why is it that it might not be even about beauty now, but you see that some guys is
Mm-hmm.
treating even the same guy might date two ladies and is treating one differently. Why? In life there's what you accept and there's what you don't.
Accepting.
What you accept indicates your standards. I mean, you probably need to write that down.
Hmm.
What you accept, reject, indicates your standards. So in the first fucking place, like the guy that slammed the door, in the first fucking place, I shouldn't have let him do that. Back in the day. But I didn't know these things then. That's like going back and giving it to him, best decision of my life. Because I reset my standards. Because I just told my subconscious, whatever mind it is, told the angels, told God, the devil, told everything, told the universe that is not acceptable.
Hmm.
None. Even with results, that result is not as acceptable. I went to the high school. The high school I was at. It's either we win or nobody wins. Whether we win or we don't win, we're taking the cup home and we're flogging the rest of the people. That's the kind of high school I went to.
Hmm.
You know, and it was shamed. You know, in a societal sense, of course, I understand why it would be shamed. I understand why, of course, but in a real life context, those skills, not to accept failure no matter what, not to accept the outcome you're dealt with. Somebody comes, how's I'm going to do business? Like you, no fool. Here's how I do business around here. Just intentionally say the most ridiculous and do the most ridiculous thing. So you get used to being ridiculous. Not being ridiculous is probably costing you. You say the hand is costing you. It's costing you. What do you do to the hand?
Yeah, what's costing you?
Cut it up.
What?
I didn't hear that.
If the hand is costing you, what do you do to the hand?
Cut it off.
You cut
Cut
it
it
off.
off.
Cut it off.
Exactly. If being timid is costing you, what do you do with it?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yes.
Yes.
What was your question again, Tejiri?
I said, what do you do? Or rather, what do you do when you are feeling like the sadness or the low energy? And you said, recommit to your goals immediately.
We're coming to your goals. We're coming to your goals. We're coming to your goals. Like understand what's going on, and just recommit to your goals. You know, like no matter how sad you think you feel, think about it. You hear good news and you're jumping off. You're jumping up, or you see some kind of alert, you're jumping up. So you need to not train your mind. You know, like okay, here's how to condition your state. Here's one way. Here's a come of the ways to condition your state. We've not talked about it, but there's some of the ways to condition your state. Every single time something good happens, do a particular action. Like every time you receive money, maybe ring a bell, play a song, do something. Every time you make a sale, do a thing, ring a song, do a dance.
Hmm.
Or smell something which is even more powerful, more potent. Or smell something. You know, a smell. Could be a smell, could be a perfume, something. But attach that winning to a particular thing that can change your physiological state.
Hmm.
Now, even when you are down, you do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Even when you're down, you do the thing, and that reconditions your mind because your mind thinks you are somewhere else. Your mind thinks something else is going on. That way you can condition your state.
Hmm.
It's like how I condition my state. I do not like swallowing things, tablets, supplements. A couple of supplements, roots and stuff that I like. They come in tablet form. So what did I do? I condition my state.
Hmm.
You know, I condition my state where snapping my fingers means action.
Hmm.
So so now I define the process. Once I put the thing in my mouth, put the water, I snap, and immediately I swallow. Like snapping my fingers now is equal to action. Like even when I snap or consciously, I have to move, I have to do something. It's actions. That's the
Hmm.
condition. So condition victory, condition winning to a particular thing, so that whenever you want that, you can always get it back. It takes a while to condition your mind to accept that. Makes sense?
That makes so much sense.
So you can always condition your state. Always. Any okay, I mean now you have to ask questions. Like it's like you have to. Dave, give me one question.
I can't speak. It's noisy where
You can't what?
it's very noisy where I've been
Well, I
following.
mean, you could have just asked the question anyway.
You can hear
Alright. Uh, I don't think I have any question over the conditioning mistake.
Vivian?
Yes. Okay. You said every day we have to stand guard against the things
Against the things that work.
that affect our beliefs.
That affect your standards, your beliefs, yes.
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah. You said your statement was that every day we have to stand guard against the
Yes.
things that affect our beliefs. So I was wondering how we could go about that. Is it still the same process of recommitting to your objective, recommitting to your goal, and
Okay, give me an example of a standard. Give me an example of something that you consider a standard. Okay, let me give you an example. It's like here, um, our our
okay.
our products are valued at a particular price point, which is right now the other one is 30K, the other one is 150K. Now, what I could do, like, so when somebody comes and starts talking about price, we're like, hey, stop that conversation.
Okay.
That's not the kind of conversation we have here. In fact, in my own mom's case, is worse. She sends you away. Growing up, you start to have that conversation. She sends you away. She's like, leave this place right now. It's like, oh, that joke. No. Like, hey, that's not the kind of conversation we have here. If you don't have it, that's a different. If you don't have it right now, that's a different conversation. If you don't have it right now, that's a different conversation. Here's what I could do for you, which means okay, we could start now. We could do something and start now, but you're still going to pay what you're going to pay.
Okay.
Because every time I say yes to price bargaining and all of that stupid shit, now I'm going to think that slowly and slowly you start. At one point, you're going to start thinking your product is not worth it. That's when people start reducing their price. I increase my price, man. Somebody said it's almost like every time I talk to you, I've increased your price. I'm like, yes. I don't do the price conversation. If they don't have it and I really want to help them, that's a different conversation. Like, I could help you. Okay, you don't have it. Okay, let's start with this today. But you still gonna, but be very careful. Like, be very clear that that's the amount you're gonna. That's what it is. That's what you're gonna pay.
Yes.
But again, they are realistic. Again, these are wisdom is only profitable to those who can apply. This does not always apply. You could have an unrealistic price that the marketplace does not accept. So that's the time to reassess. Okay, this my your strategy and go. Okay, this is what the marketplace accepts, and this is what marketplace doesn't accept. But that's you don't change that all the time. That is what the marketplace accepts and does not accept. That is completely different from from reducing your price standards. Is that a good example?
Perfect.
Some people's way of demeaning your product or the value of what you do is they want to reduce your standard, but they do that indirectly by reducing the price. Well, not always. Some of them might not actually believe in what you do, but they just don't have the money. But that's a different conversation. So you stand guard are the things that want to take away from you. Your stand guard. Like, hey, we don't have that kind of conversation over here. Poor people conversation. Don't do that. Go talk to the other broke fools. We don't have that conversation. But not over here. I'm telling you, like growing up, she kicks you out. Like I've never even the men I've dealt with, almost no man is that when women get entrepreneurship, they really get it. They kill it. They kill it. They're brutal, they're ruthless. Like right now with Vivian, she's slowly getting it. When she gets it, ruthless. Now she's still trying to be liked. She still wants to be liked. Like me. I'm a good person. The moment every single time you're liked, your standard drops. Every single time you're liked, your standard drops. You're gonna be like, at one point you're gonna be like, fuck it. The price conversation. That's one way. Right? Another way is when you see the way people talk to you. Stop it immediately. Immediately. Training humans to treat you is like training dogs. If you go and you come back, if you beat a dog for what the dog did yesterday or last week, the dog will not understand and will never change. Will never really understand what's going on. It's the same thing with a human. He fucking immediately become unreasonable. Because the angels, God, the devil, demons, your subconscious, your mind, everything's going to say she didn't do anything. She didn't say anything, so that was okay. It's okay. Moving on. That's a new standard now. Reduce that blessing, man. That's not. We can reduce it. I do not compromise my standards, not even with God.
Yes.
What?
I say yes.
Not even fucking God. I mean, that's not what I asked for. He goes, hey, calm down, man. I mean, I'm not calming down. Like, give me 2 more weeks. 2 more fucking weeks? No, you have 2 days. You obviously get the point. Don't even reduce my standards when I pray. Some of you reduce your standard when you pray, right?
Not at all.
You pray for a specific house. Now you go, anyone do? You need a room of parlor. I just want a house where to lay my head. I just want to have somewhere to lay my head, niggas.
Any babe will do.
Any babe will do, man.
I have a standard that so I burnt I don't know if this. I was cooking once and I burnt. Someone asked me to make breakfast for them, and I was making sausage, and I burnt it. And ever since then, I never wanted to fry sausage. And every single time I get to do it, I burn it again.
You burn it again. Well, you're putting from that same place. You know, you're relieving your trauma, as the yogas will call it, trauma. That's the word they try around nowadays. So, tell you, you're relieving the
What do I
trauma,
do?
huh?
What do I do?
What do you do? Okay,
Yeah, because I know similar case with your
with
spice.
salt. Yes, I mean I had a similar case. I get exactly. I think. By the way, Vivi, I think we've touched on this before. But look, here's the thing. These things are lifetime, and some of them we even need to talk about every day. Some of them we need to talk about every week. But we always think I've heard that before. I've learned that one before.
Not
Never
at all.
Not at all. Like you literally have to be reminded of your standards. You
Oh,
know, literally have to be reminded. Like, do you know how many times you have to remind the prince that is a prince?
hmm. Yeah, Prince, you don't do
You
that.
don't do that. Then his standards go back up. I'm gonna play with the other idiots. No, you're a prince. You don't play with idiots. It goes back up. I'm tired. I don't want to learn anymore. You're a prince. Don't do that. How many times you have to be reminded their whole fucking life? Even when they're on the throne, they start asking for plenty of advice. Like, well, you're the king now.
Wow.
Whatever you say, it takes a while. You know, that's why when you have when you have when you have a case where the women in his life know that he doesn't have the standard, they just fuck him over and start telling him what to do. Like in the case of Jezebel, Jezebel is really a nigga with Jezebel was it Ahab had a nigga with low fucking standards and she raped him and pillaged his soul. So what do you do? It's like, well, what happened with women with swords? You know, sometimes like okay, how do you know the interesting thing about beliefs?
No, no, I don't.
Beliefs are a decision away.
Hmm.
It's like authority, standard, all of that stuff. Your beliefs are the decision away. You believe right now that every time you touch the sausage, it turns to shit. Now you could
Hmm. Well,
now you
and
could
I say it. And I say it.
and you said it. It's a true confession. How did you even say it again? True confession righteousness is perfected, right?
Hmm.
Now you've made that right for your life.
Hmm.
You've now confirmed it with how you said it. So now all you need to do is change that belief. And you start saying
Wow.
it. You start saying something else. It's really that simple. But I know you want the complicated answer. I don't have I don't have that for you.
No, that's that's the answer. Because it's the same thing with cooking. So every time I always say I'm the best cook in the world.
Exactly.
Every time I hold this, every time I touch anything,
Mm.
literally with whatever is in the kitchen,
Yeah.
it's I always say that. But with the
Yeah.
sausage, I say I always burn the sausage,
You
and
say you always burn the sausage.
I always
Oh,
burn it.
then you remember what the artist, like you can't do great things. You only do little things that will really enjoy. And you also analyze, okay, where you stand now. You go to stand guard at your standard. It's probably your lack of paying attention to it. That's probably where the standard is leaking off.
Hmm.
It's like somebody comes and speaks to you in a particular way. You don't go and start fighting the people. No, you fight the things that allow the people to be able to speak
Hmm.
to you that way.
Hmm. Hmm.
Those are the things you fight out. Um, and you embody the new belief. It happened to me with swords for the longest time. right?
Hmm.
So you gotta stay. You gotta stand guard. And say, okay, I can't do. Nobody has ever done anything great. They have only done little things with great joy. And the single so probably need to add some more joy into the sausage.
Hmm.
It's little sausage. Everyone's looking around here, thinking I'm ridiculous. This this actual sausage. We're talking about actual sausage, right?
Hmm.
So probably need to add some great joy to it. Great joy and stand guard at the things. It could be the timing, could be the heat level, whatever. You stand guard at those things that
Yes.
ensure that the thing that the thing goes fuck. That connects to the question that Vivian was asking, right?
Yes, it does. So pay attention, like being mindful of those things.
Just be mindful of those things. Yes,
Maybe the heat is always hot. Maybe all those little things are just
all
I'm
those
not
little
mindful.
things, all those things that you're not mindful. Again, the way to operate in your standard authority again is again what I tell you about mindfulness.
Mindfulness. Yes.
Being present and be mindful. You become mindful of all the things that are taken away from your standards. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any question? But again, your life is a belief away. It's a decision away. That's why the fortunate life is about deciding. But we don't tell people that. Like, look, don't go around telling people anything like any of this stuff. Don't. They will look
Yes.
at you
Yes.
weird. Like, don't not even bother. Like, when you do that, something even happens. You are going to be sparsing your energy.
And with what you just said, talking about it, they don't believe it. It can affect my own
It
standards.
affects your own standards.
It will affect my own standards.
Guard your energy.
Yes.
I don't understand those words, but okay. Uh, but yes. So don't bother with that stuff. Concentrate it in your own life and apply. Apply for your life. Because wisdom is only profitable to who can apply.
Hmm.
So you focus a lot of times you realize that you didn't take as much action because you were more focused on being smart with these things. How you would sound, how you would look, all of that stuff, as opposed to really getting it and applying it in your life. So okay, you go back home now. After we drop this call, you say, okay, I understand my authority comes from a certain standard. So now I need to increase the standard here. You look around your house and you say, how do I increase the standards here?
Hmm.
How do I make this look better? How do I make this better, 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 better? You go, you start speaking with people. How do I speak better? How do I look better? How do I now that all of that is going to start adding to betterment adds to your standards basically.
Better.
You have become obsessed with betterment. Obsessed with betterment, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
If you're the kind of person that always thinks better, better, better. How do I make this better? How do I make this better? How do I make this better? How do I make my product better? How do I set better prices? Nobody's gonna come and start changing your shit unless it is better, which is good for either one of us. Thinking better, man. That's one way to increase your standards. Think in betterment. If I when Bill Gates was asked, like, okay, what's your philosophy of life? He says, what are you trying to do? It's like, I'm just trying to make things better. Like, betterment. I look at something and I go, how do I make it better? What could
Hmm.
what could we do here? That's this entire philosophy. Betterment. There was a lot of things to say. But I felt like we need to come back to this very basic stuff. This very basic stuff. But once you get it, nobody is ever going to give you the authority. You alone will give yourself the authority. Your authority is affected directly by your standards. Your standards are affected by your beliefs of what you could do, be, or have. So when you start to make things around you better and better and better, what becomes your standard? They're the kind of person that turns shit to gold. In little ways, even if it's 1%. I go to somebody's house sometimes and I look at the frame and I just move the frame 1 inch and I'm like, maybe it's slightly tilted, moving 1 inch and I live there, I'm smiling the whole day. And I'm like, I made that shit better. I went to his house and I made it better. And the guy goes, this idiot, like all he did was move the thing 1 inch, but I made it better. That's my new standard. That's my standard. Everywhere I go, anything I touch, I make it better. Every person I meet, they're better.
Hmm.
Whether I'm trying to do that or not, that's what happens. Even people that speak to me for 5 minutes, their life changed forever. That's my standard. That's where my authority comes from. Like you see the way I speak about these things, absolute.
Hmm.
I know they work. We've helped over 2,000 people. I don't need confirmation from anybody. That's because that's our standard. We know this thing has worked over 2,000 times. Same thing, nothing else. Okay, if that's the case, I mean that's where my authority is coming from. Do you understand what that means?
Hmm.
My authority is coming from what I believe I can do. This is what I believe I can do. That everything I touch, everyone I meet, becomes better. You can leave your business in my hands. I might have no clue what your business is about. I might have no clue what anything all of that is about. But here's one thing you can always be assured of. What's that thing, Teacher?
I'm gonna make business better.
It's gonna be better, yeah. At this point, it's not even a law. At this point, it's a law. At this point, there are some things that when you establish them, that even the universe, God, everybody, devil starts agreeing with. There are some things even the devil starts agreeing with you about.
Mhm.
So when the devil tempts you, he goes, "Look, I know this is your standard." You know when the devil starts telling you that, you go, "Okay, now I'm doing something right." The devil agrees with my standards. It's like when the devil went to tempt the Christ, he says, "You're really the Son of God, right? Turn the stone to bread." Like he agrees with he agrees with his authority. And he goes, the idea of an authority is to be able to author whenever I want to author, not when you want me to author, right? And it's in little things. You go to work and the customer, the customer or the employee goes, we should do this like this in a very quiet voice. You let them understand that things are going to happen and get done when you decide they're going to get, not a second less, not a second more, when you decide it's going to get done. You might even sound rude. Everyone else might think you're rude. Even you might think you're rude, but something has happened to your standards by saying that. See, every time you said things, that was rude. You felt empowered.
Hmm.
You gotta stop listening to the rules of man. It doesn't work for anybody. Like these things, these things. It doesn't work for everybody. So you think it's gonna work for you, right? That's your standard. Like this shit, this basic stupid shit that doesn't work for anybody. Guess what it's gonna do? It's gonna work for me. There are things that the core property of what they are is that they do not fucking work. Will you agree with? Will you argue with things that don't work? Like things that don't work, they clearly tell you that they don't work. They don't even argue with you. You're the one disillusioned to think that they work, right?
Yes.
And for me, for the longest time, I fucked around with things that didn't work like that. I'm like, well, I work, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's like trying to wife a hole. It doesn't work. No matter how good, no matter how good of a guy you are, she belongs to the streets, right?
Hmm.
She belongs to the streets. She belongs to the streets. It doesn't fucking work. You do what you will do your best. You will really try. But it just doesn't work. That's the core property of what it is. It doesn't work. Any questions? Any more questions?
No questions.
Vivian?
No for me.
What do you take from all of this, Vivian? Remember, what's gonna change your life, Vivian?
What I take from this and what we do with it. What I take from this and
what you take from this and what you do with it. Vivian, do you hear that? What's gonna change our lives?
Yes. Yes.
What's gonna change our
What I
lives?
take from what I take from this and what I do with it.
Okay. So become very mindful every time we're there for 2 hours. We're inspired. I don't want to inspire you. I don't want to do any of that shit. I don't even want you to learn shit. I'm here to share some values, some beliefs, and what I want is a transformation. So I want you to get something from this, take something from this, and each one of you is going to take something different, but to each their own. So it's always okay. What am I taking from this? Conscious. It's a very conscious effort, intentional. What am I taking from this? Becoming skillful, success, all of these things are very intentional actions. They're not accidental. So you could close people right before, right? You thought you could negotiate before, right? After I have sweet mouth. But if you have not intentionally trained, like your brother, your brother is he has talent, but he's not intentionally trained in some things, right?
Yeah.
But there's the thing with talent, like the ego comes in, and you think you know now because there's that illusion of if you have not intentionally trained for something, you're not going to be good at it. That's the simple law of nature.
Intentional.
If you have not intentionally sat down to train for something, you're not going to be accidentally good at it. Do you get accidentally good at playing the piano?
No.
Accidentally become a great singer?
No.
When I sing in church.
The worst singer, so.
Worst singers, right? Okay. And even at that, there's still some intentionality to them.
Yeah.
You know.
Someone said it's easier to hide. It's easier to hide in the crowd. Everyone is singing and you. It's easier to hide in the crowd, and it means you're doing it well.
Exactly. You know. So for me, I'm like, okay, what are you taking from this? For me, I know what I'm taking from this. I'm only a vessel. I'm only opening my mouth, and shit is coming out, and I'm also listening now, and I'm taking notes, and I'm going, okay, this is what I am taking from it.
Yes.
Sometimes I say shit for the first time, I'm like, okay, that's a new one. I understand I'm only a vessel. All I need to do is show up and open my mouth. I'm in my
Mm,
place of authority.
mm.
All I need to do is show up and open my mouth. Moses was like, "What should I say when I get there?" Right? What should I say when I get there, niggas? Like, just go there and open your fucking mouth. That's what I do. So it's always, what do I get from this, and what am I taking home with this? So what are you taking from this, Vivian? What are you getting, and what are you taking from this?
I have to always operate from a place of authority, and I don't have to wait for
Your
anybody to give me the
highest
authority.
authority.
My highest authority, highest authority. I don't have to wait for anybody to give me the authority.
Okay. Some people wait for the employees to give them the authority.
Hmm.
Yeah, growing up, like go to work with my mom, and growing up then, I thought she was just being unnecessarily mean sometimes. Like, this woman is just unnecessary. But I did not realize what she was doing.
Hmm.
It took me going through my own journey in life to understand what she was doing.
Hmm.
She shows up in her business the next day, and they say, "Who's the person that just hired you? I don't like his face. It's gone." That's it. Think she's gonna repeat herself? Think she needs a reason? Give me a reason, niggas. Why? It just fucking is. Your highest authority. How do you find out your highest authority?
How do you find it?
I mean, okay, now we say highest authority. That's a very ambiguous term. So how do you find your highest authority? How do you define your highest authority? What that looks like?
Um,
See, this is why I
I,
like you saying what you get from it, so that we can actually go to the core of what you're getting. As you go, authority, 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 highest authority. Okay,
um, you find your highest find your highest authority.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not
You
sure. Yeah.
decide who you fucking are. Not decide who you are um, based on the limited, based on where I am right now. There's no where I am. There's no where I should be. There's only who I am. For the most part, when people ask me, what's the fucking life about? For me, I know it's about deciding. For them, I just say it's about the I am. They go, huh? Like, that's all you fucking need to know. If you don't understand that, then there's no need telling you fucking more.
Hmm.
For me, it's about deciding. I don't tell them about deciding. They wouldn't understand that. They don't need to know that. But for them, all I say, what's the fucking life about? They say I am. Your highest authority is in your I am, which is you decide who you are. Deciding who you are is not from a place of the lack or what you see right now. If you were given unlimited capabilities, who would you be, have, and do? That's who you are. Ralph Waldo Emerson, he says, we're gonna throw a few big words around. He said there is nothing capricious in nature, and the implanting of a desire indicates that its gratification is in the constitution of the creature that feels it. Who understands that?
I don't understand it.
Exactly. What that really means is this. What does big grammar the Emerson was using? I think that was 1849. What that really means is this: is that if you can feel something, basically, that means if you can have a desire for something, to be something, to be someone, that desire is the indication that you need that is possible for you. Okay, let me use it in gurus yoga terms. Let me use it in those terms. The universe, they start with universe. When you just hear the universe, you just start running away, right? You know how it's gonna end.
God created universe. The Christians
Yeah, well,
start to angry.
let's not bring God in the matter. Let's just start with universe. Let's keep let's keep to the end. So the universe, the universe only gives to you desires and ideas that are possible for you to implement and achieve. So if you can close your eyes for a minute and think, if time, remove money, remove all of this shit, none of it was possible, or none of it is impossible, or none of it is a factor to life, what would I be, have? That's the truth of who you are. And you decide to be that person today. You probably need to repeat this over and over again, right? It's ridiculous. You decide to be that person today. In fact, that's the highest form of faith. Because you're saying, as long as you can desire it, basically. If I put the same picture in front of everybody, 10 people, all of us are gonna have different desires about it. So as long as you can desire it, that's the indication that you need. What is desire? Desire is an indication of what's possible. What's a desire?
Indication of what's possible.
Desire is an indication of what's possible.
So you have a desire, you have a goal. Oh shit! Now you know that you have an idea. What's that an indication of?
What's possible.
Whether you decide to do it, be it, have it, that's your own thing now. So your highest self is operating from your highest authority. Your highest authority is operating from your highest possible self. Like if you could think about yourself from the highest point you can be, who is that person? What authority does that person have? And you start establishing that today. By today, I mean right now. Right fucking now. Does that make sense now? So what do you get from all of this? Vivian?
I'm here.
Okay, so you're saying what you got from this.
Okay, so what I got was to operate from my highest authority right now and not wait for tomorrow or for anybody to give me the authority to do that. And I got to understand too that desire is an indication of what's possible. So whatever it is you desire is very possible. It's an indication of what's possible. And for my standards, I have to stand guard against whatever it is I believe. Recommit to my goals, recommit to my objectives when my standards fail, and go out and make it happen.
Oh, okay, I was on mute. Every single time you compromise, that is you pouring cold water on your beliefs. Every single time you compromise, that is you pouring cold water on your beliefs. Every single time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
decide what those you decide what those beliefs are, and you do not compromise. You gotta be mindful when you're deciding, but you gotta be decide, make decisions that you will not compromise on. Okay. Teacher, what did you get from all of this?
It's important for me to stand guard. Um, to my stand guard are the things that affect my standards on a daily basis.
Okay. You just start watching your emotions. If you, in fact, if you can follow your emotions, something happens to you naturally.
Yes.
Okay. The next for the next 30 days, here's the exercise. A lot of times people have too many things. Focus is one of those ingredients when it comes to manifestation. Focus is very powerful when it comes to manifestation. Oh, focus. So for the next 30 days, decide one thing. Decide how much you're going to be making. You're going to be making. What you or decide some goals. Set some goals for yourself and decide. Okay, this is the how. Pick one business, pick one affair that you need to do. You know, don't think of many things. I say focus on fucking sales for the next 30 days. Sales, collecting money, collecting it, accepting it. One thing, not 50 things, not even two things. One thing. Did you how many things?
One thing.
You only have a list. When you're done with that thing, you can move on to the next thing. When you're done with that thing, you can hand it off to somebody and you can move on to the next thing. But right now, you focus on one thing. Like even when you study the neurology, even people that study multitask, you cannot do two things at the same time. Not practically. But there are ANS actions from the hippocampus. Those are more. Uh, those are actions that happen automatically without your involvement. But I'm talking about core neurological activity. You cannot take core neurological activity. Not the brain focuses on one core
Hmm.
neurological action at a time. Actively. So what you really call multitasking, your brain is switching in between tasks. It's switching in between things. It's switching in between focus. That slows down manifestation.
Hmm.
So what are you going to focus on for the next 30 days?
Accepting money.
Accepting money from one thing. I mean, you're going to accept money from everywhere, but your focus is, I'm gonna be accepting money. I'm gonna be find one source, and that's it. Focus on it for the next 30 days. And you set goals. Set goals. Set goals. Teacher, I think we already set goals together, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Vivian, we already set goals together as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. So one thing. How many things? How many things do we need?
One thing.
One. What did you get from this, teacher? All of what we talked about. Are you speaking? Teacher, I can't hear you. Yeah, I think you're on mute.
No, there was a lot of noise. But what
Okay, so what else did you get from this?
um, it's important to recommit to your goals when your standards take a hit.
Or even set higher goals.
That's how it goes.
But again, the higher is really extra. What you need is just recommitment.
Yes.
You know, Vivian, one distributor messes up, and now you come back and you said, you recommit to your goal. Oh, recommit to your goals. Remind yourself of everything you're trying to do, and you focus. You come back to focus. Having a problem with one customer, okay, now go. You commit to your goals. Okay, now I need more customers. That's the real issue. Because I don't have to deal with this nonsense. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks. Have a good day.
No.
No questions.
Okay.
No questions.
All right. Have a good one.